What's going on, gamer? So we have a video here by Digital Foundry. I've been kind of waiting to see what they have to say about the ROG Xbox Ally X. They say that it's great hardware. I haven't seen it, so software needs work. Interesting. All right. So as you see, I didn't like anything. I just got up in here. Let's go ahead and see what this is about. Are we ready?
First news topic of the week. I've been away, so I haven't been able to review the ROG Xbox Ally X. I'm told it's ROG, by the way. ROG
No,
Ally
I don't
X, just
believe
to be
that.
perfectly clear here. um, I have got the
Oh,
device. I do.
okay. So we got Alex Battaglia on here now. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you guys, like I told you, I have an Asus laptop right here, RTX 4070, Ryzen 9 8945 desktop CPU going up to 5.3 gigahertz, higher L1, L2, L3 cache than any console CPU smoking it. 32 gigabytes of 6400 megahertz RAM. Yeah, I mean, I can do anything pretty much. So I've always been a fan of ROG, even back in the days. I remember when Star Wars: The Old Republic MMO came out, I had a ROG for that back in like 2011 or whatever. For that type of stuff. So yeah, they've always been like on my top of the line list when it comes to laptops, not desktops though. So I know all about the armor crate and everything. So yeah, let's go.
Like it rather a lot in terms of hardware. There's a lot going on here. I don't really know where to begin. What can I say? We've talked in the past about the technical specifications and the form factor of the machine. I've got it right here. I actually rather like it. Excellent handheld in PC terms, I'd say. I like the handles that have been added. Nice figures. The controller is excellent. D-pad could possibly be better.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because like I said, you could go to Best Buy or whatever and you'd be able to test. As I told you before, I don't have a problem with the device. I actually think it's a good device. I just don't agree with the price and just the false marketing.
I think it's generally an excellent machine.
Yeah.
It's got the same VRR panel as the Asus ROG Ally, so that's good as well. But the game hasn't moved on there. Asus have included in there the Z2 Extreme processor, which we'll be talking about in performance terms shortly. A lot of the discussion surrounding this has basically been about whether this is an Xbox or not, and it basically, I think it depends on where you come from, right? Xbox is fundamentally still considered to be a console, and a console that takes care of you. It holds your hand, it looks after you, and everything should kind of just work. If, however, Xbox to you is an app on your PC, then you're going to be not quite so quite so disappointed with a lot of what's going on here because I'm going to talk first of all about the onboarding experience with the Ally X because it wasn't satisfactory. Basically, it was just like Windows, and I thought, okay,
hmm
fair enough. But then I'll use the controls of the actual unit to actually get through the onboarding, and
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows this now. We're kind of past that. There's no need to drag that crap on anymore. I think it's immature. We just want to hear people's point of view and their experience and their professional analysis about how useful it is to you, not getting stuck on the surface of a label. Nobody cares about that. Let's move past that. Otherwise, it's child's play. But what can it do for you? What use is it? How does the software works? Does it fit you for what you want for it? That's the most important thing because that's what you're going to be playing. You're not playing a label. You're playing what the device can do.
they didn't work. And then suddenly they did work. Maybe I was missing like pressing a button or something. I couldn't go back to check because once onboarding is done, it's done.
Yeah.
And I'm going to quickly skirt over this because I'm sure it's not the experience most people have had, and I have checked in with other journalists to see whether that's the case. But on the onboarding process, it would not let me select English as a language. You select it, and then you just get the kind of spinning wheel of doom. Nothing happens, and then it errors out. So I had to basically choose a foreign language to install and get everything up and running.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I chose French, of which I have no real knowledge whatsoever. And then getting into Windows, the idea was to switch back to English, and it's kind of half worked. But more to the point, because I logged in using my Microsoft account, now my main workstation is starting to produce some prompts in French.
Oh
So I'm going
no.
to have to go in there and figure out what's going on there. And more to the
That's terrible.
point, I was looking in Adobe Premiere, suddenly all the decimal points are commas.
Oh
And
my
I loaded up
gosh.
gigapixel AI to do some photo upscaling, and it pops up with a little dialog box saying, "Hey, we've actually got a French app. Do you want to use the French app?" It's like, no, I don't. Please. Um, but otherwise, standard Windows, just not a particularly satisfying experience. I think you'd be genuinely at sea if that happened to you as a console owner, right? And then once you're into the whole sort of Xbox
Right.
experience side of things, there's still like installations to do. So the Asus Armory Crate, for example, needed to be installed. Windows updates still happen as Windows updates. Nothing's really changed there.
Hmm.
Updates to the machine via Armory Crate are still done via Armory Crate. The Xbox interface is much improved, but still kind of laggy and doesn't feel quite right. You can go into My Apps to install other stores, which is great. The issue there being that once you're in Steam Big Picture mode, right, suddenly you realize what a good interface is. It's so much more responsive. It's visually more attractive. Everything just kind of works. So it's kind of a bit of a halfway house at the moment. It's definitely a Windows handheld and not an Xbox as many people would perceive it to be an Xbox.
Yeah, of course. I mean, all that stuff you're saying, that's all Windows stuff. You're not loading up no Armory Crate on no damn console. You know what I mean? I can do Armory Crate right here. You know what I mean? Like I said, I have my Aces right here. I know what this is. It's the same thing as Windows 11 Aces. You're not gonna be getting all those updates like that, and everybody knows this. This is what I mean. He's just literally saying that because it's like let's stop playing games, and then realize what this is. So now you know what you're dealing with. For the people who still haven't gotten one, and whether you get one or not, like I said, and you can have that label all you want, but it's still going to be doing all that. That could never change. So he's being honest about his experience, and it's weird that he has to be stuck on a language. He couldn't even get into the location that he said. I don't understand that. That's like I said, they rushed it out. It wasn't ready.
It's basically an enhanced Xbox app, and that's fine.
Yeah, there's
But
nothing wrong with that.
there's a lot missing. There's a lot to come as well.
Hmm.
Microsoft have put out an announcement saying things like Auto SR upscaling is coming, which I think is a really good idea. I'm told that it's actually going to be better than the Auto SR upscaling that was in the Qualcomm ARM Windows laptops. There's
Okay.
going to be I don't know what this is, an enhanced docking experience. Interesting.
Hmm.
Interesting also, default game profiles, which balances frame rate and energy use for select titles. Now, that was something that I talked about in the past where, to be a console like experience, you've kind of got to boot into a game and not have to worry about settings. That's not the case at the moment. There's so many things here which are kind of it's much more PC like than console like, and if you can live with that, that's fine. But
Hmm.
when you're used to the streamlined interface of an Xbox Series consoles, just going to say it's not as good, and it's a downgrade, and it's going to be quite alien to some people.
Yeah, that's why AGN has been preparing people to let them know what the hell it is so they can know what they're dealing with. Not telling somebody they're getting this, and then when they get their experience, they're like, I thought I was getting this. You lied to me, and you took my money. So yeah, that just seems like a grift. And anybody that's saying this next one, yeah, to me, you're a grifter because that's what you're doing. It's pretty obvious to convince of a label. Some people say some blah things, but I'm like, it's funny because, yeah, I mean, come on, man, see right through you. No, you cannot. And I've been told about the gathering in the discords and all that. Do you really think you can? You know how many hoes are over there? I'm just saying, man. So it's not gonna work. They know it too. I've done nothing wrong either. I went after nobody. And anybody that supported my channel, like Alex, I gave respect to them and said thank you for that. You know what I mean? But all this other stuff, it's like all you're going to do is show life who you are. And you're going to have to face that, whether you're on a machine or not. Either you are being honest with people or not. Either you are selling out and grifting or you are not. And deep down inside, you should know the truth of it. Either you want to help somebody or you just want to take their money and brainwash them for a $4 trillion corporation that doesn't need any more money. It doesn't get more pathetic than that as a human being. I'd say those are supplements. So you look yourself in the mirror and say, are you really being genuine? All you people. That's what I have to say. Yeah, you know you're not. Hmm. And the truth will beat you. I don't give a damn about your vanity, all that gathering and all that. Man, dude, I ain't scared of none of you. Like I said, what do I need to be scared of you for? It's been told before and it will be said again. It's pretty obvious you have nothing to really hold on to, barely a life raft. And with that life raft, like I said, there's 9999 critical hits for AGN, plus anything you try, because I know all your weaknesses. Do I really want to go there? No, I'm trying to move on maturely and go after greed like an intelligent being would do. But if you're gonna come in my way for that, oh, I will burn you down. And I promise you I will blow up and you will not be able to do anything about it. So yeah, try me. You know what I mean? Because like I said, you're wrong. All of you. And it's pretty obvious. And you should be man and clean yourself out. But if you don't want to give up your position, hey, keep going. That's your free will choice. I don't have a problem with that. But when you come after me, that's totally different. I'm not no femboy. I'm not going to sit here unless some little hyena pick at me. I'm a lion from the high ground. I'm going to rip you in pieces and throw you over there to the carrions. Let's keep going.
Oliver, I'm curious what you make of my impressions there.
Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely very interested in the Xbox ROG Xbox Ally devices.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that there's like kind of a bit of a split in the commentary so far, where I think as a PC handheld, it does some interesting things. I think the new interface, the Xbox full screen
Mm-hmm.
experience, I think it is good. I like the app switching. There are elements of it that I really like actually quite a lot, in some cases even more than the Steam Deck in terms of the way they've configured things. So evaluated against that standard, it's good. And I do have one pre-ordered and I'm excited to check it out myself in due course when I do get that. But compared to the Xbox devices, I feel like, I was just playing Series X about an hour ago in
Mm-hmm.
preparation for this episode. And I was booting into a game like Black Myth Wukong, super easy experience, going through various settings, just super easy to use, never having to use like a touchscreen or alternative input device or ever feeling like that was even something that would be useful for me. It's just like a super smooth experience. And like Xbox is a very stable and easy to use console. And I feel like with respect to that kind of experience, it's not even close. So I'm happy playing in the kind of more technical realm of PC handhelds. I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
It's not 100% my preference, but I can do it. But I feel like a lot of people, when they see that Xbox branding, they expect a super smooth, super polished experience because that's what they've known from the Xbox brand for, 24, 25 years now. And that's not what you're
Yeah.
getting with this device. So I feel like that disconnect is really difficult. Now, over time, hopefully
Oliver just said an amazing thing. He's like, since Xbox just came to the industry, this is what you've always been. This is literally your true identity, and you know this. And you telling people this, like it's not the right thing. That's another intelligent point of view because it's like every time we get these angles, everybody is basically making it clear, like, let's just be mature. All they're doing to me is being mature individuals. And anybody else that gets past that element of stuff is being mature and saying, man, can we get to the real problem here? You know what I mean? Instead of acting so childish over something that is literally pointless and irrelevant and is also a very niche product too. It's not like the whole world, 50 million to 100 million people are going to be getting it. It's like, dude, barely anybody is going to touch this device realistically on the grand scale. It is not that important. And the fact that people go this far to blow it up like that just tells me how pathetic they are and petty. I just have to say it, man, because I think when I look at YouTube, I thought we're gonna hit the things that are intelligent, really help people out, but this that's stuff outside of that. And I see people attack Digital Foundry all the time too. It's like, yeah, once again, to me, you're just a lowlife. Yeah, because let's get intelligent people here telling people the truth, and let's know what this thing is so that we can really be professional. Because what a professional would do, now you know everything about the device, pros and cons, right? All that other stuff, get out of here.
they can bridge that gap a little bit. I don't think they'll ever fully get there in terms of the usability of the device, at least not within
Yeah.
a kind of reasonable time span. But it's going to be a tough thing to kind of make that messaging work for people, especially when Microsoft is pushing this everything as an Xbox kind of strategy. This is an Xbox. This is more of an Xbox than an iPhone, perhaps, but it's not nearly as much of an Xbox as a Series X, I fear.
Okay, yeah. We go with that, yeah.
Impressive.
Because that's my thing. What like I told you, I was like, you can get a closer Xbox PC experience on this handheld device, and it has a Xbox experience on there. Just like I can get an Ubisoft experience on there with only Ubisoft's launcher. You know what I mean? Like I told you, I can get the EA experience. But that's stuff that's just been apps on a Windows launcher, and that's exactly what it is. And if you want to say, if Microsoft would have came out and just said, yeah, you're going to get as close to experience here outside of Xbox as you possibly could. Obviously, this is not an Xbox, guys, but we're working to make this be closer to an Xbox experience as much as you can, but we're not going to call it an Xbox. See, when you start doing that, that's what I'm like, see, there you go, Ian, you're a fraud. Why do you need to fraud when you have all that money? For what? Just be honest with your base. You already done enough damage anyways. What does it matter at this point? Just be honest. But of course, let's not do that. And that just says a lot about that company. I'm more annoyed at them than even the people coming in defending it, because to me, Microsoft is victimizing them and brainwashing them. And some of them are ignorant, sure, a large majority of them. But who is the author of this? It's Microsoft that is doing this. They are the problem, and their parents after that, and their shills. So, and they need to be called out, right? We just need to say it like that. We don't have to go after nobody's name or anything, but we're just basically saying like this, like, I didn't go after nobody like that. No, I only went after somebody when they came after me. Look at my channel and tell me what to say. You're sure I'm coming after you. This guy's, you know what I mean? No, I didn't do any of that. No, I didn't. So that's where you realize when people's mask and color shows even more easier in that section, because it's like, I was talking to the corporation. I wasn't talking to you, but hi, make it more obvious. You know what I mean? Anybody that's like that. And I find it funny. You keep on bringing these people keep on bringing up the old names like Game Suncast. Dude, I don't give a damn about talking about them. They're irrelevant to me. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about anybody that is doing this, because there's a lot of people over there on that side that are doing this, that are pushing that type of stuff. And I'm not going to call out any names because I don't personally have a problem with them. And they never did anything to me, so I am not trying to start anything with them in that sense. You know what I mean? And my thing is though, is I'm like, you have a better position and an influence. You can do a better job than that. You know what I mean? So, but if I have real beef with somebody, obviously I will say that. But there's some things that I don't like, but those people to me could be nice people, and they probably never did anything to me. So that's why I'm not going to go out of my way and be an asshole to them, even though I don't agree with what they're doing. But I still respect them as a human being in that sort of sense. And this is what I mean by like, that's where I think people become asleep and desensitized. It's like, wait, remember what you're defending, and then think about it in the grand spectrum. But people get so into a brand like a cultish fanatic behavior, and they start going off the rails, and they think some people are going to be complacent. Now you realize I'm not a complacent being, and I don't back down, and I ain't afraid of nothing, literally.
It's really moving on in the world. So, yeah.
Yeah, it boots when the machine boots. It boots into the Xbox app. So in that sense, there's no mucking about with launchers or anything. It does allow you to launch other launchers. I had issues there as well, though. To begin with, you have to install those other storefronts, those other launchers. Fair enough, except that the install for the Epic Game Store failed, and then when I pressed the button to access the Game Store within the Xbox app, for some reason it took me to the System32 folder in Windows. there's just like a lot of sort of guardrails and stuff that are just not there. I'm fully on board with all of this stuff happening when, it's a PC handheld that you're buying.
Exactly.
But when you're specifically branding this as an Xbox, that's not particularly great.
My point exactly. Like if I grab my Switch 2 right off the dock, I say I've just got it. You get the software update, you get it right on there, you click on the game, you're right in. That's the console experience, pick up and play. This is not pick up and play. You know what I mean? That's like, stop playing these games. This is all this bloat, all this downloading, all these customizable settings. That is not what a console player that's been in the console industry their whole life is going to say when they get there. Because they'll be like, no, because I've been playing Xbox my whole life. That don't feel like Xbox, man. Like I like that that's there, but it's like all this other stuff. I know this ain't Xbox, and they know that, and they still choose to be fake about it. That's the thing where it's like, see, at that point, it says a lot about who you are, and not anything else. As I said, that's a you problem, not anybody else. Free will of choice in deciding to be like that. Okay. Your choice.
There's a lot of issues there. I would say it feels like a beta product almost.
Yeah, it's not
I think
ready.
there's enough here that it's sort of like a late alpha as well. A lot of missing features, a lot of sort of conflicts as well.
Credit, because remember I said this is going to be rushed out. I remember the Kieran guy made a post on Twitter when he said that I don't know what I'm talking about because the Switch 2 is not going to outperform the Ally, ROG Ally. Remember, bro? You said that. Oh, yeah, you did. And guess what? They're comparing it to the LIX because that's so disappointing. Even the Odin is outperforming that. And you know damn well it's not going to because that DLSS image quality of that FSR that's available, it's getting smoked. You see? It was matching the image quality of the LIX. I said, take off that frame gen. Just let you know it's the same thing again and NVIDIA has done, except it's lesser with AMD because their tech is not savvy meta like NVIDIA's, unless you're getting to FSR4. So at that point, how could you match the Switch 2 then? You can't. But that little Ally, that thing's a joke. You know what I mean? The LIX is cool, but the Ally, to me, is garbage. I don't see the point. I think it's pointless at that price. Maybe $400 worth. Okay, $450, sure. $500, you know what I mean? But $600 for that, and you don't have that, and you have that little bit of space. You've installed 2, 3 games like Call of Duty and Battlefield. Guess what? Go get something $100 some dollars. Oh, now you're in the $700 range plus tax. You get into next to the pro. If you don't see that to me, then I can't help you.
Yeah, so in terms of viewing this as an Xbox, there is also the disconnect now that people are expecting their digital libraries to move with them, but only Play Anywhere games will move with you within your Microsoft library. So, there could be a conceivable scenario where, one day you're on your Series S, you've bought a game, and then you say, oh, wow, there's a handheld Xbox coming. I'm going to buy that. And then, you buy it, you get through the onboarding process, then you realize that the game you bought isn't actually supported on it. I think that's a bit of a problem. There needed to be better communication there.
Yes.
There is cloud streaming, however, which has improved for Game Pass Ultimate, but it's kind of like a mitigation. So a lot of reservations, I think, about the actual nature of this device as a handheld. The nature of this device as a PC handheld, though, I think there is a lot going on here that I'm very, very happy about, and it's exceeded expectations. First of all, you do have the ROG Ally's 120 hertz VRR panel. It's no longer the state of the art. People are wanting OLED. There will be competing products that do have an OLED panel. But it's still pretty good, right? It's certainly a decent screen, I'd say.
Yeah, but they cheaped out. They should have gave you a bigger screen, and you don't have an OLED at that price. That's what I'm saying. The Switch 2 will have an OLED. It's not going to be nowhere near that. So there we have it. Let me know what you guys think about this again. Once again, there's definitely a lot of problems here that need to be addressed. Like I said, no device is going to launch perfectly. Look at all these problems. And we're highlighting them so that you could see the truth over here and not just look at it in a blinding light. Like there's only just something positive to talk about. Well, how are you going to fix this product if it's going to be stuck like that? Yeah, it needs improvement. Later, y'all. Keep it real.